Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Arsenal are leaning towards signing a number 6 rather than a number 8 and rather than a striker as well, according to The Athletic. Now, The Athletic understand that Arsenal are gearing towards signing a number 6 because they think that the number 8 market or central midfielders are not readily available. You're not going to get a good CM on the market right now, but you're also not going to get a real good striker in the market right now for the price that Arsenal want to pay. And that means that Arsenal are going to focus on signing a number 6 rather than a striker and rather than a number 8 as well. Obviously, there is this possibility that Arsenal sign 2 midfielders if Xavi Simons is available on loan. We'll talk about Xavi Simons and why I think that could be a rare opportunity. Arsenal think that the Amadou Onana situation could be a rare opportunity that they can actually explore on the market, but also João Neves, one of the players that are really heavily linked with Arsenal right again today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you so much for following. Bit of a boring summer, but don't worry, something will happen and we'll be here to react to it when it happens. Now, according to The Athletic, they're saying that strengthening the midfield is seemingly now the priority and primary focus for Arsenal this summer. The indications at the club are the indication are that the club are leaning towards signing a number 6 rather than a number 8, as they feel there are more attractive options on the market in the number 6 position as compared to the number 8 position. Now, Arsenal have turned their focus once again from striker to midfield. They think that in terms of midfield, that should be our primary focus. We should focus on getting more players and adding more quality to the midfield rather than at center forward. We are going to talk about that, but let's first talk about the number 6 and the number 8 and what that means for Thomas Partey, but also what that means for Arsenal going forward. Is it true that we have more opportunities to sign a number 6 this summer as compared to a number 8? I don't want to believe this story. I do believe the story because it comes from the Athletic. They're the most reliable source I use these days, right? But when you say that Arsenal think that there are more attractive options on the market for a number 6 rather than a number 8, and then the Athletic had reported a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal thought they would sign a dynamic number midfielder that could allow Mikel Arteta a little bit of flexibility in tactics and tactical setups. I don't understand what they mean here. Now, are there more number 6s in terms of availability on the market as compared to number 8s? Probably. So let's look at the number 6s that are available. You have João Neves. The number 6 is available. You could get him for 120 million euros. You have Youssef Fofana. Is a number 6 is available. You could get him. You have Mats Vijver at Feyenoord. You could get him. You also have Bruno Guimaraes, by the way, whose release clause is very, very open until the end of June. You can also trigger his release clause and you can get him. And obviously, Amadou Onana, who has been frequently linked with Arsenal. So I understand that there is an influx of number 6 talent on the market, and maybe Arsenal feel like they're attracted more towards a number 6 rather than a number 8. But I also don't think that Arsenal should be giving us excuses, or we should be hearing excuses that Arsenal think there are more opportunities to sign a number 6 rather than a number 8 in this market. I don't think that is how it works. I don't think that is true. And this is why. Last summer, there was Moises Caicedo on the market. There was Declan Rice on the market. And there were a couple of other players as well. Arsenal made it clear that they wanted Declan Rice and Declan Rice alone. Like, for that amount of money, Arsenal could have signed 3 or 4 good midfielders. Like, there was Gabriel Viega, one of the really, really exciting talents that we all thought would move to a Premier League club. Eventually ended up in Saudi Arabia. But Gabriel Viega was available in that left 8 position. Arsenal said, we don't want Gabriel Viega. We do not want anyone else. We don't want Julian Brandt. We want Declan Rice. And since that point in time, what that meant was that Arsenal are 100% clear on their targets. Unless this is a special summer. Unless this is a summer where Arsenal don't know who they want. They just, using the scattergun approach, jumping on one player and the other. I mean, if we don't want to believe that, then why are we hearing reports like Arsenal are looking at many attractive options? We shouldn't have many attractive options. We should have 4 targets locked down. Option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. And if it's also true that Edu has had a scouting list since January, and what we are going to do has been known since January, then that, the availability and unavailability of players, in a certain position shouldn't actually hinder our targets. I think our research should have been done a couple of months ago. We didn't sign anyone in January. We should have used that time to look at what the club will need, what we'll do in the summer, who we are going to bring in for how much, and this and that. Again, why I think that Arsenal are not signing a number 6 because there are no number 8s available on the market, it's because of this. The Athletic reported earlier on, again, that Arsenal were thinking about using Declan Rice either as a 6 or as a number 8. And that was going to determine where the next signing was actually going to come in midfield. So if Arsenal decided to use him as a number 6, it meant that Arsenal would sign a number 8. If Arsenal had decided to use him as a number 8, it meant that we would sign a number 6. This piece that comes out today from The Athletic literally means that Arsenal have decided to use the player as a number 8. And I've seen him for England, and I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Declan Rice in modern football works well at the base of a midfield. I don't think he works well. I don't think his ball distribution is wise, and I don't think he's brave enough in that lottery role to play balls that break through the lines. I think there should be a player like Jorginho who is brave to play balls that break through the lines. There should be a player like Odegaard that is brave enough to play balls that break through the lines. And then Declan Rice, with his engine and his energy, should be part of the midfield. That is what he offers the team. A midfield engine, a midfield dynamite, a midfield grenade. He's not a smart player. He's not Jorginho. He's not Thomas Partey. So I think the decision to sign a number 6 for Arsenal is true. And I trust the Athletic very much, 100%. But it's not coming from the fact that there are no number 8s on the market that are attractive. I don't believe that. I think Xavi Simons could play there and is very, very much available, as much as we know. I think there's so many other clubs that are really looking for a number 8, and they'll get one. I think Frankie de Jong is one to look at. You could get him if you actually wanted him. If you're serious about him, you could actually go and sign him, and a couple of other players, right? But for me, the whole point, this was always about Declan Rice. This decision was always going to be taken basing on what Arsenal decided to do with Declan Rice. If Arsenal had decided that Declan Rice is a DM for life, then we would have brought in a number 8. And trust me, we wouldn't have failed to sign a number 8. There is a possibility that Jamal Musiala, I'm just saying, there's a possibility that Jamal Musiala could move to the Premier League, move to anywhere. There is just a possibility. So have Arsenal really explored the Jamal Musiala deal? I don't think Arsenal have. Have we looked at the Pedro Goncalves guy at Sporting Lisbon? I don't think we have. I don't think Arsenal are exploring a deal for a number 8. I think they have just seen Declan Rice play against Serbia, probably, like I've seen him, and they have decided this guy is not going to be the orchestrator. He's not going to pull the strings at the base of the midfield. And I like him, and I know he's good, and I know his abilities. He's just not an orchestrator. He's a good defensive midfielder, wins the ball back, he's got long legs, and his timing is perfect, and he's athletic, and he's full of energy. End of story. He's not the smart guy that Jorginho is. He's not the smart guy that Partey is, and certainly he's not as brave as those two players. Now, could he be, could he change? Could we see a change in in his career, probably in the future, maybe. But at the moment, I think this is the right decision for Arsenal to go and sign a number 6. Now, I've blabbered and blabbered and blabbered about the decision. It's final. We are going for a number 6. Who are we going for as a number 6? That is the big question now. Yusuf Fofana, Amadou Onana, John Neves, Dougie Luiz. Who are we going for? Right? Who are we going for? It's going to be very interesting. Now, quote offside, these days, they are actually serious. When you hear me quote them, you might actually say, what happened to Cossy? How is he quoting quote offside? Not really. They're becoming more serious these days. Quote offside have done a piece with one of the transfer journalists, Jacob Ben, who actually thinks that Arsenal could look at the opportunity to sign Amadou Onana as a 50 million deal that is too good to turn down. Bogus. Absolutely bogus. I've seen him play in midfield for Belgium. And straight away, I am not interested. I am not interested. If he's coming in as our number 6, I am not interested. Thank you. No. I'm interested in someone else. No. Not Amadou Onana for 50 million. I think with Amadou Onana, Arsenal have got to be very careful here. Arsenal have got to be very careful. There is a thin line between a real prospect and an overhyped talent. Now, I don't think Onana is an overhyped talent. I think he's a good prospect, but don't overhype him. Don't tell us he's the next Yaya Toure, all that kind of bullshit they always say. Next Yaya Toure, next Partey, next this and that. He's none. The only advantage I have with him is that he's Belgian, and therefore he wouldn't leave in January for AFCON. That's the only one. So for me, 50 million for Onana is a no deal. That is too expensive. Arsenal should be able to do a deal for Onana at around 40 million. 40 million, yeah, that would be nice. But again, Onana wouldn't be one player I really fancy at DM. He wouldn't be one player I really look at DM, because signing a number 6 literally means that Arsenal could let go of Thomas Partey. Not one player I'm looking at. He's not a player I'm looking at this summer, and I'm like, bringing Onana in number 6. No. Then João Neves. I like João Neves very much. You know that. I like João Neves very much. But a 19-year-old guy for 120 million euros, Benfica are not willing to negotiate the price down. I'm not convinced as well. Again, I'm not convinced. So I won't be surprised if Arsenal end up with Yusuf Fofana. I won't be surprised if Arsenal will end up with Yusuf Fofana in that position. Is it good enough to replace Partey and Gino in the long run? Because again, Lokonga will be gone. I don't know. Like, I think he's athletic, he's energetic, he's physical. He's good on the ball as well, but that is in the French League 1. That is not in the Premier League. That is not in the Champions League. Not really. But what excites me is that Arsenal could sign 2. And that is that's why I have this thumbnail. The thumbnail you're on the video. It excites me that Arsenal could sign 2. Xavi Simons and a number 6, a DM. Because, again, Declan Rice, although he's not a perfect DM, I think he will play around 10-15 games this season at DM with 2 attacking midfielders ahead of him in either Kai Havertz and Odegaard, or Fabio Vieira and Odegaard, or Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe, depending on the nature of the game. So I would love to see an attacking midfielder come in. I'd like to see an attacking option, at least one attacking option. and one defensive option in that team coming in the summer. But there's a lot. There's a lot. And we will be unpacking, right? We'll be doing a lot of unpacking on this channel. That's what we do best. See you.